To this week's candidate coffee. We've got three wonderful candidates for the Ward 1 City Council seat, Mike Anderson, Raquel Maar, and Brandon Barwick. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're also wanting to say thank you to Troy Davis and Roast Coffee for providing our coffee this morning. We really do appreciate having great options for the elected seats and are happy to bring you these opportunities to meet our candidates. There are additional opportunities, and you'll have a list over on the table as you walk in if you want to take those on your way out. These questions were prepared by the Chamber of Commerce, Hastings Economic Development Corporation, our Government Affairs Committee, and the staff. They've worked to prepare several that we'll ask today in a format that is timed. And then following the prepared questions, we hope you're able to stay and network with our candidates with any further questions that you have. So to help our event run smoothly and get to all of these questions, we have a few ground rules that we'd like to explain. First, please turn off your cell phones to silent. But if you do need to take a call, we ask that you step outside or in the back hallway to not disrupt our moderator or our candidates as they answer. And we ask that attendees in the audience refrain from discussion also while the moderator or candidates are speaking to be as productive as possible with our time today. So with that, I'd like to introduce today's moderator, Karen Dorr. She is a Chamber Board member.
Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate it. As mentioned, a series of questions have been prepared, and we will rotate candidates so that each one gets to answer, but we will rotate them so not the same one doesn't always answer first. So I think as Shannon said, each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer questions. Jamie will be our timekeeper, and she'll hold up a yellow card, meaning that there's 15 seconds remaining, and a red one means that the time is up. We won't cut you off. That's just a warning for you to get to your conclusion and wrap it up so we can move on to the next one. Okay, without further ado, we'll start with our questions. We'll start in the middle. Mike, my first question to you is, please introduce yourself to the audience and tell us what previous community involvement you have had in Hastings.
Good morning. My name is Mike Anderson. My wife, Kim, and I have been married for 32 years. We've been Hastings residents for pretty much all of our lives. I feel that we are invested in this city, and I would like to see a return on that investment. And that means that I have to invest as well. And personal investment would be running for city council. We have 3 adult children and 10 grandchildren. I'm not a public speaker, so give me a little grace here. My goals are just to try to represent the citizens of Hastings, to let their voices be heard up to the top of the city level. And just to make changes in this town that would allow for the younger generations to stay here. It would give them a desire to want to stay in Hastings. As far as my community involvement, I've been an usher in church. Other than that, raising kids and helping coach sports. Spent a lot of years doing that. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, why don't we go next to Brandon?
All right, my name is Brandon Barwick, and I lived in Hastings for the last about 6 years. Lived in Juniata for the rest of my life. So I've been in this area for my entire life. I been a part of a family business for about 20 years now. Drake Tool and Design here in town. I am not a public speaker. I'm not this, I don't have a don't have an agenda or an axe to grind with anybody. I just feel like I need to step up and try to help the community that has done so much for me. And I'm not a public speaker. I have a speech impediment, but I am fighting through it. I'm sitting up here today doing this, and it's really difficult for me. As far as help or the community, I have mentored kids with the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I have mentored kids in the Mentoring Works, a career Connect program, which you pair up with a kid in high school, and you meet with them. You go on different tours of businesses here in town, and you show them, and they come out and kind of job shadow you. And it's a deal where we are trying to show kids that there are good jobs and good careers here in Hastings, and then hopefully keep them here in Hastings after they're done with school. I think that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, and last but not least, Raquel, please introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Raquel Maar, and I have lived in Hastings since 1998. We moved here with my 2 children. Now they're grown, married. I have been involved with the community with interpreting for the city, pretty much anywhere they need me to interpret for. I have worked too many hats in this town. I have worked at the Hastings Public Schools. I have worked for G4H. I have volunteered at the 4-H programs. I'm a volunteer for the Red Cross here in Hastings. I also have been a youth director for our church at the Grace Methodist Church. I have done a lot. Can't think of all of them right now. I'm a little nervous too. So I'm a social person, very social, but not a public speaker like right now. It's been and watching Hastings grow a little. I would like to see it grow more, to have more of the younger generation to stay here in our community. I'm one of you. I'm not anything special. I'm just a person that wants to step up and wants to see changes. There's a lot of things that we need to do to make our kids stay here in our community. All I hear is that they want to get out of here, so that's why I'm stepping up. I want to see for our generation, because they're the ones that are going to take care of us when we get a lot older. So I like to see them stay here and see them grow and make this community grow.
Thank you all. Okay, now we're going to kind of get to the meatier questions. Brandon, I'm going to start with you. In Ward 1, recent discussions have centered around the trail system, drainage issues, and sidewalks. What do you see as the priority for Ward 1?
So on Monday, there was a Ward 1 citizen meeting that I attended, and just went there and listened to the people, and these were some of the issues brought up. There was a couple there who brought up the sidewalks. She's in a wheelchair, says there is little to no sidewalks. And she said that she enjoys going for walks, but doesn't want to because there's no sidewalks. So I do think that we need to work on that. There was another point brought up that is not listed here in the question, but that was public safety. There was a lot of people that had voiced that they feel like parts of the south side of town, which is our district, they did not feel safe. They said there was some crime and drug issues and some other things down there. And it's something where I'd like to see if there is some way we could work with the Hastings PD and see if there's something that we can do as a council or as citizens to help these people feel safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Raquel, what are your priorities for Ward 1?
They're all important issues. The drainage is a major issue. If we don't get that fixed, it's going to be a bigger issue. So sidewalks are pretty much, we need the sidewalks fixed too. I live on the south side and I walk some of that. So it's been kind of like, yeah, this, for handicapped people, it's a priority for them. So I do see that we need to work together and get the city, like Brendan said, the crime is a little higher on the south side. We can get more PD officers to be surveilling the area more. As citizens, we can report crime too. But priorities are sidewalk and the drainage. Both of them are important issues.
Thank you, Raquel. Michael, your turn. What do you see as the priorities for Ward 1?
As far as the trail system, I would say that we would like to see the trail on the south side look very similar to the trail on the north side of Hastings, where we would have a wide concrete trail, and that the trail is not largely incorporated by using the city streets. Because I don't mean to be negative, but I don't see a father and a mother and 3 kids riding down East Street with cars coming up and down the street considering that a bike trail. That's dangerous. It's a false offering to the citizens on the south side. So I think we need to go back to the drawing board and figure out where we can run that trail, that it will actually be trail and not a majority of street, which is F Street and E Street. As far as the drainage issues, we've had those draining issues for a long time. I think it shouldn't be that big of an issue to figure out how to fix the drainage issue. After this long, we know where the water sits. We know where it needs to go. We just need to figure out how to pump it to wherever it needs to go. Sidewalks, yes, we've been going door to door, and sidewalks, some places they're non-existent, some places they're the old brick sidewalk. And again, I'm not trying to be negative, but if you come to the north side of town and you look at the newer areas, the sidewalks are pristine and beautiful. And when you go down to the south side, most of those sidewalks are heaved up from trees, heaved up from freezing, thawing, and just age. They've just never been replaced. And the people pay the taxes on the south side just as they do anywhere else in town. And I think they deserve to have their sidewalks upgraded and streets.
Okay. Raquel, we're going to start with you first on this third question. The recent community survey identified economic development, housing, transportation, and communication as top priorities for the city. What are your ideas for addressing them?
My priorities would be getting more business in town so we can see Hastings grow. There's a lot of the younger generation, they don't have no places to go. There's a lot of younger generation that are having mental issues because there's no places to go, they don't have nothing to do. Or I would like to see more businesses come into town to make them, feel like, oh, this is going to be fun, or getting involved with the community. There's a lot that we can go on for this. I mean, a lot of it is to the residents of Hastings what they would like to see grow. And I'm here to listen and want to get ideas from them too. I can speak all my ideas, but that be just my ideas. I want to see the community get involved. So,
Okay, thank you. Michael, what are your ideas for addressing the city priorities of economic development, housing, transportation, and communication?
I think the number one priority would be to communicate with citizens. I think the biggest thing that would fix a lot of our issues is family, and that's not a city issue. That's in the families. So outside of that, I think we need to reinvest in the community. Like I said, the South Side, there's a lot of big business in the South Side. You have Thermo King, you have Hastings Equity, you have Centennial Plastics. There's a lot of manufacturing, a lot of money. Hastings Irrigation is down there. Some of that money could go back into the South Side. There's a lot of houses that, talking to people say that for 20 years I've had this person across the street and we don't feel safe. I think safety is a big issue. If there's only 5 people in Hastings that don't feel safe, that's a big issue. And if it's for 10 years or 5 years or whatever, that's a big issue. I just think that the citizens keeping more of their money and choosing where they spend it by tax reductions, the valuations on properties are high. That's the county, but the levy is the city, and that city levy could be lowered to help the citizens out, and that would in turn help out small business, because if I have more money in my pocket, I can choose where I put it, but when it's sitting in the city's pocket, it doesn't allow me to spend it in a small business. And the city can't spend it in a small business either. So by keeping money in the citizens' pockets, the manufacturing or whatever businesses in Hastings being able to pay their employees more money because they're paying less in taxes, that gets money circulating through the city, and circulating money generates money.
Thank you. Brandon, economic development, housing, transportation, and communication are city priorities. What are your ideas for addressing them?
So I think the biggest issue here in town, is housing. And I do think we have done a great job in recent years of adding housing. You got HEDC and Chamber, City of Hastings, everybody has been working towards that. But I think we need to continue to work on that, because I hear of people. People say quite often they want restaurants, or they want shopping, or want something like that in town. Well, without having places for employees to live, you will not grow and expand on that. The other thing I think is I think social media can be difficult for a community to grow and fix some of these problems, because if everyone's getting online and are bad-mouthing the community, these potential businesses and investors see that, and they'll see that stuff and go, why would I come to Hastings? Hastings, there's so much negativity, and we can go to Grand Island or Kearney, and everybody there is all positive and upbeat and they're expanding, we're growing, we're doing all this, and Hastings is not, and I think so much of it is because of the negativity. So, and then I know. I think that's most of what I got.
Okay, thank you. All right, question number 4. Michael, we'll start with you. Collaboration is important to seeing growth and success. What is your strategy to encourage collaboration and partnerships as we...
I think on the collaboration, partnerships, working together, I think the bottom line is we need to start working together with the citizens. And I know citizen involvement, it's kind of hard to get citizens involved, but when the citizens feel like It's what I continue to hear. And I don't believe that way. I believe open your mouth, which sometimes irritates people, but you need to speak up as a citizen. You have an investment in the community, and if the citizens don't speak up, they're the backbone of the community. There's no business in this Hastings, in the city, that functions without the citizens. You need citizens for employees, you need citizens to purchase your products, and that's the root of the city. We need to communicate. We need to get the citizens to open up, like going door to door. People will talk to you and tell you things that you cannot imagine. And that's what the city needs to hear. We need to hear people on that level, what they need, what they feel they're missing. And it's probably the same thing that if you want to bring a business into this town, it's the same thing that they're lacking. They're not seeing it. We've got the people that are renting apartments that cost $900 a month, and when you look at them, you're thinking, why on earth would anybody pay $900 a month for that? They're throwing their money away. We need nicer rentals, and I'm not a landlord, and I know it costs money to make a rental nice, but that's something that we need to work on is, like he said, the housing, but we have existing houses. We have people that live in Hastings, and they need more money in their pocket so that they can manage the homes that they have. So I think we just need to get back to communication with the citizens.
Thank you, Mike. Brandon, what is your strategy to encourage collaboration and partnerships as we look to grow Hastings?
So Mike said, I think transparency is huge. I think as the council, city, et cetera, needs to have transparency and communication with the people. There are a lot of people that have not been heard. As I do know, there is a new program out it's called Engage Hastings, and that is a deal that the normal citizen can communicate with the officials. They're in city government on different projects. It's a way that they can see timelines and see how the progress is moving forward. And I think that is a huge deal of showing the city government working with the citizens and moving things forward. I guess I touched on it earlier about the safety, community safety. I think we need to work with Hastings PD on what we can do to help them make our city safer and make our districts safer. And I think the other one is HEDC and the chamber and that work on bringing in some housing that is affordable and continue to try bringing in businesses and restaurants and shopping places, etc. That's all I got.
Thank you. Raquel, what are your strategies for encouraging collaboration and partnerships?
My collaboration would be go out there to Hastings City and talk to the residents and see what they would like to do and work together and get them involved. I know that's not easy, but a little encouragement helps. I believe that if we get out there and get social media going, a page on my side I have that where citizens can communicate with me and stuff and see what I can help or what areas we can work together. That's one way to communicate with the community. Another way would be pushing on making changes through the city, on, talking to PD, Sheriff's Department. I know that I work for that county, so I kind of have the connections on that department already, so I can push on safety, have more patrolling on that side of the south side, have more meetings for the community to come and see us and talk to us about what they would like to see changed, so.
Thank you. To conclude our time together, we're going to ask one more question of all of you. Brandon, I'll start with you. What more would you like the audience to know about you as a candidate for Ward 1 on the City Council?
I guess I will continue on from my bio kind of at the beginning. I didn't get it all done. I'm very involved in manufacturing. I serve on the CCC's advisory board. I am a contest coordinator for Skills USA. That is a competition deal that is for high school and for college students to come in and do different competitions on the trades. And it's one of those I am involved in that. I've been a contest coordinator for about 10 years now. That gives me a chance to meet these young kids and speak to them about the manufacturing, and then to potentially bring them to Hastings to work here. Manufacturing jobs are some of the best paying jobs. So if we can bring more kids into Hastings and keep them here, they are better paying jobs generally. That just helps our community grow and expand. So I have been involved in HEDC, been involved in called HAMA, which is Hastings Area Manufacturer Association, which is a group of manufacturers who meet to discuss their needs and wants and visions for the future, whether it's employees and employees or different things to do on changing policy for helping the manufacturers grow.
Thank you, Brandon. Raquel, what more would you like the audience to know about you as a candidate for Ward 1?
When we first moved here to Hastings was back in 1998. I was just a housewife. I was a stay-home mom with my 2 kids. I came to Hastings, went to a softball game, and met a teacher there that encouraged me to work for Hastings Public Schools, because at that time they needed interpreters really bad. And since she saw that I was bilingual, I could get that community, the Hispanic community, involved with the schools. So I wasn't looking for a job, but I went ahead and applied. And I went to sign up my daughter for school for the summer. And I got to meet Drew Hetty. He was the principal for Lincoln Elementary School. And he gave me a tour of the school. And I was like, okay, very nice of him. But he told me I had the job, and I'm like, what? I wasn't even sure about this. But anyway, story short was I started working for Hastings Public Schools. Then that opened the doors for me to work for Department of Health and Human Services. And as I started growing, and I started doing more community service through Hastings, and I've been involved with Head Start. I've been involved with the Chamber of Commerce. I was on the board at one time in there. I was involved with through other churches that I was working with children and stuff. My kids graduated here. My son graduated from Hastings College. And it's been a lot of that I have gained from Hastings that now I would like to give back to that community. And it's been kind of like, I won't want to leave Hastings unless I had to, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm here to serve, as I would like to see that changes in Hastings, so.
Thank you, Raquel. Mike, it's your turn. What more would you like the audience to know about you as a candidate for Ward 1?
Okay, so ever since I was a kid, I always grew up with this thought in my mind, or a belief, that the only way that you can't achieve something is if you decide you can't achieve it yourself. Nobody can hold you back if you want to do it. And I believe Hastings is the same thing. I believe this world, if you work hard, you can attain whatever you want to attain. Maybe not whatever you want to attain, but you can achieve a good life, a good earning, a good family. And so I just believe that if everybody speaks up, speak respectfully your opinion of the things that are going on, so that everybody can put these thoughts and opinions into a pool, and the corresponding people can figure out what decisions need to be made to fix things. I think we could turn this city around very quickly. I think we could bring lots of businesses in. I don't know how many businesses we've turned away. I would be very curious to know how many businesses have looked at coming to Hastings and haven't, because I just cannot believe that somebody looked at Facebook and made the determination of whether or not they were going to bring their multi-million-dollar business into Hastings off of Facebook posts. So I would really like to know what businesses have not come to Hastings and why they have not come to Hastings. And I think that we have a workforce here that could take care of another business coming into Hastings. We've got plenty of room around the town that we could bring some large manufacturing in. And I know there's plenty of people in this community who would love to have more opportunity for jobs besides just the businesses that we have in Hastings. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, candidates, for sharing your time with us this morning and all of your thoughts about how we continue to grow our great city. We really appreciate that. We will not be holding a coffee next Friday in observance of Good Friday. We'll be back here at the airport on Friday, April 5th, with our Ward 2 candidates from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. On that note, we are thankful to the airport. This venue is just wonderful for events like this. Thank you again to Troy Davis and Roast Coffee. If you're able to stay around with us a while and network with the candidates, I believe we've got more coffee in the back. Karen, thank you for a fabulous job today. This event was recorded by Hastings Public Access Channel and will be made available soon. And I would just say, again, we want to continue to encourage you to network with the candidates, and don't forget to get out and vote. Primary day will be May 14th. So with that, again, thank you for joining us and have a great day.